Shoosh, Joey Moss, Bad Boy Gaming, and in today's video, we are going to talk about old cards, we're going to talk about power creep, we're going to talk about vintage pricing, we're going to talk about fetch lands, we're going to dual lands, we're going to be all over the map. A little bit of focus on 2017, but you'll notice like we branch out a ton. What I've invested in, what I currently invest in, my thoughts on vintage products, vintage foils, vintage sealed, also my thoughts on modern stuff, current things going on. Where are we headed? Power creep, the list goes on. Journey with me. Let's get up into this. I highly recommend you stick around for this video. Get past the first few minutes, and then we really start diving into stuff. Let's go. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing if you enjoy what you see. If you are a long-time subscriber, I hope you continue to enjoy what you see. I want to say WotC did the Masters sets dirty. Maybe. I'll let you guys decide. So market price a year ago was $188 for one of these. Price has climbed up. I don't know why, because a lot of the prices have dipped. Here's the top dogs. Well, here's a booster pack. Yeah, the price of a sealed box has gone up. The price of a booster pack has gone down. Logic? Yeah. It's the hoarders of sealed product that are causing these to go up. I get the appeal of a sealed product, like an old sealed box or something, but there's just no value. But the value is just not in it. Like a box of Mirage or something, what are you going to get? Like $150, $200 at best? Maybe $350, depending on what card you pull, I don't know why people position themselves in these massive vintage sealed products. Honestly, it's a bunch of rich people just exchanging sealed boxes back and forth. No one else really cares. But anyway, here's a huge list of all the top cards. How the Mighty Have Fallen. Cavern of Souls. Okay. Was $42 a year ago. Now sitting around the same. Hasn't really dipped much. Foil price on that. Interesting. I don't understand why the foil price is about the same, because foils are very difficult to pull. Oh, I know. Who can tell me why the foil price is about the same for these magnificent cards, even though the scarcity is tuned way the heck up? Cyclonic Rift. I don't want to spell it out for you. I want to hear what you guys got to say. Fight it out in the comments. There's a couple reasons. One is huge, but there's maybe even more than a couple. I want to hear what you got to say. There's Scalding Tarn, but look at these foil prices compared to non-foil. It's just insane, man. $20, $23. A lot of reprints have happened, though. These are all price charts from the last year. Verdant Catacombs, hot dogs. Tarmogoyf. Oh, how the Mighty Have Fallen. A foil near mint Tarmogoyf, well, this is light play, but about $20. Do you know there was a time Tarmogoyf was over like, a foil Tarmogoyf was like $400, $500, $600. It's kind of difficult to find data from years and years ago, but as you can see, future site foil, $225. I bet it's still $225, but no, the card price was way more than that. $200 was the going rate, I think, for a regular non-foil Tarmogoyf back in the day. Here's an interesting article from a Reddit post, MTG Finance, which I actually go on there. Random question. What happened to Tarmogoyf's price? This is 3 years ago. I remember this card being $150 back in 2014, 2015. Heck, even during 2017, it was still $90. It was a lot of money. I'll tell you right now, without even looking, power creep. It just got phased out, man. There's just more powerful cards. Now that same card I sold goes for $35 to $40 for a foil. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Now down to 20. This was 3 years ago. Insane, man. Better creatures, less Jund decks, what? I mean, less Jund, too. Transforming Finance for traders. As you suspect, supply is fine up, whole demand had gone down. What? As you suspect, supply has, whatever. Finally up, I don't know what he's saying. Since 2017, it's continued to be reprinted. Dude, it has. More than that, though, it used to be the premier efficient threat in Modern. and a pretty big one in Legacy. Now it's the 30th most played card in Modern. Insane. Power creep is a thing, guys. So all these Modern Masters product cards, I hate to say this, but I mean, they're all going down. Eventually, I swear, fetch lands will be phased out. Think about that. It might not be for another 10 years, but eventually, fetch lands are going to be phased out. It's hard to wrap your head around that. If you've been in the game for a long time, it like boggles the mind, you know? Now there was a Fatal Push. Yeah, I remember Fatal Push came in, and dude, he whoops Trent McGuire's butt, you know? Modern has just changed. This is 3 years ago. Goblin Guide was $80. I remember $80 play sets, but not for just one. I double checked. Looks like it topped out at $45, $50, so I did misremember the $80. Yeah. I remember when Goblin Guide was $20, $25. You want to take a look at that real quick? This is just sad. Oh my, the white border, 48 cents. Oh my gosh. I remember when cracking a Goblin Guide from Modern Masters 2017, it was like $20, you know? Even the secret layer, $177. What is the most expensive Goblin Guide? Dude, OG Zendikar Goblin Guide foil. Tell me it's not under $10. Oh my gosh. No one even cares about these. This is another thing that's crazy with Magic. Unless it's like Urza's Legacy, Destiny, you know, like Apocalypse, you know, like some of the early stuff, Nemesis, you know, the list goes on and on and on. Unless it's like really early, like vintage foils. Is that even vintage? Yeah. Unless it's really early foils from like the 90s into the early 2000s, no one really, the foil price just gets obliterated with reprints. If it's like post 2010 for sure, the price is annihilated. Because there's extended art, there's these secret layers, there's these showcase, there's... Nobody cares. Right! Nobody cares about these older foils anymore. There used to be a type, well, if you go back to like, well, again, that's like what, Odyssey or some shit? Like, if you go back to the OG, like, Fetchland foils, that is something worth wrapping your mind around because those prices are still highly sought after. But that's by, like, big-time collectors and people that want to flex in their commander decks, you know? That's the scary truth. Nobody cares about the older, like, foils anymore. So when you have these, like, older, like, vintage boxes and stuff, I mean, unless you have, like, sealed packs of, like, beta, alpha, you know, like, even though, like, what, can't those be searched? I know for certain, like there's a whole ton of sets that could be searched from back in the day, you know. You just slide it over and you can see right through because of that white. I think all those can be searched. But, yeah, you got to really trust someone if you're going to buy some sealed alpha or beta or revised or, you know, any single pack, any booster pack sold on the open market. You really, really need to be cautious when you purchase. It has to be a very reputable seller, maybe even someone you know or trust or have dealt with in the past, because, man, there are a lot of people waiting just to hose others. There's thoughts everywhere, man. That is the world we live in, unfortunately. Cyclonic Rift is a very interesting card. Light plate, $57. He's asking, what's the lowest price on the... Yeah. Near mint, $31. Heavily played, $26 is the least. Why did they? Oh, because he's like a super direct buy from TCG player. That's why. Even Cyclonic Rift, like, have you noticed, like, it's going up, let's go down, go down. You know, like there's reprints along the way here, but in time, I can't even say in time. Cyclonic Rift is one of those cards. Until power creep takes effect, I'd say again, it's probably going to be like 5 to 10 years. In 5 to 10 years, Cyclonic Rift will most likely be a not bulk, but probably $5, $6 card. Because something bigger is going to replace it. It has to. That's the trajectory Wizards is on, but that is the trajectory, unfortunately, that the game has to be on. You can't just keep printing cards that are of less power. You have to make them more powerful and more powerful. Not with each and every set, but I'd say with every 2 years that go by, you have to continuously increase that power. And then cards from back in the day get phased out. And these newer cards replace them. Otherwise, you're not going to sell product. Wizards would never sell a damn thing. If power creep did not exist and they just kept printing the same shit, who's going to buy it? Nobody. So this has to be a thing. It's just kind of sad to see a lot of these staple cards or just powerful cards. This is an interesting one. Powerful cards that have just gotten, knocked off the mantle. And this is a year chart right here. $26 all the way up to $35. This one has gone up. I thought Craterhoof got some reprints recently, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was a couple other green cards. Oh, no, well, Innistrad Remastered. I mean, that was, within the last year and a half or so? Within the last year. Craterhoof Behemoth. I mean, time flies so quick, man. But there's a retro frame. I think that was the only version, wasn't it? Yeah, the only version was the retro frame right here in Innistrad Remastered, which I thought was doing it justice. But eventually, even Craterhoof Behemoth in all of its glory will be phased out because of power creep within the last 6 months. Shows just how time flies, man. So that's kind of interesting. But I guess people were expecting a big, massive reprint when it was announced Craterhoof's going to be in the set, but it was just in the retro frame. Yeah, so you can see the chart here. So right around here is where the reprint, probably right around here is where the reprint was announced, but it wasn't as drastic or as big of a reprint as, they normally would do. It was just in the retro frame. So the price just continuously went up. That is I like that. I like that Wizards did that. I mean, the fetch lands kind of bob and weave a little bit. But they're going to be reprinted again, too. And I told you, fetch lands eventually will be phased out. Just imagine when a Misty Rainforest is no longer playable. I'd say give it 10 years. In 10 years, yeah, I mean, you might find these. This will be like the budget build. You'll be like, oh, yeah, you're running in Marsh Flats and Arid Mesa in your deck. Scrub. This is a sign of the times, man. Verdant Catacombs. Again, the foil price is not much more. Who can tell me why? Blood Moon, man. Wow. I guess it's been low for a while. The price actually has gone up in the last year, but this used to be a $20 card easily. A foil version, $7. It's $1 more from Modern Masters. I mean, you get the OG version. It doesn't have a foil, but the OG version, what was that, from the Dark? Its very first printing. And no one cares about vintage anymore. No one really does. The market is so bad for vintage stuff. But if you look at vintage Pokemon, it's the flip side of what's going on with Magic. Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, cards in that, not maybe Antiquities a little bit. But Arabian Nights, and then foil Urza's Legacy and Destiny. I can't make sense of it. I can't make sense of why these vintage cards from forever ago, no one really cares about, except for really rich people. That's it. I mean, I've dabbled in some vintage stuff, buying some revised, lands here and there. If I'm going to buy something, you know what I do these days? I maybe speculate on a card to spike or something. There's reparations, Wait for it to make an appearance on Command Zone or some shit, then boom, a reserve list card that's worth $1 to $5. And then it makes an appearance on a big channel like Command Zone. Price skyrockets to $20. Didn't that happen with reparations last year? I think so. But that's what I do. I don't really buy old school Magic anymore because the price is incredibly inflated due to whales. I'm just pointing out the facts here. I like Rudy, watch his videos. Holy freaking wind. That's what I'm saying. The wind just kicked up like crazy around here. Whoa! It's like tornado type shit. Like, I swear it was like a 50, 60, 70 mile per hour wind gust. Yeah, nothing against Rudy. I like Rudy. I watch his videos. I tune into them maybe like once a week. I'll catch one of his videos, you know. He's a very interesting person. He has a lot of insight, you know. But, like, he's hoarding so much of this product that the prices are jacked up to where people just, they're not dumb anymore. They're not going to pay, you know, these crazy prices. And the only place to get it, you got to go to the whales because they're the only ones selling it, you know? Wow, that wind's crazy right now, guys. Cleveland, Ohio. But, I mean, it's a fact, though. Like, Rudy has, like, the Rudys of the world, they have such a large position of this old vintage stuff. And, I mean, hats off to him. I wish I was in that position. But when you break it down, those cards, the price is depicted based on their hoarding and them not being available on the market. I'm even kind of blown away that some of these prices have gone down. Library of Alexandria, I thought that was worth more back, like even like a couple years ago. But some of these cards, I had a sitting in a bottle in BGS 9.5. I think I sold that for like $1,500 or something crazy. I bought it for like $300 or $400. Who doesn't like to make money? We all do, you know? But if they have a large position, which Rudy often says, you know, again, nothing against Rudy, guys. I'm just pointing out the facts here. Like, it's crazy when you think about it. So let's say Rudy is holding 75, maybe 100 Library of Alexandrias. He probably has more than that, you know? Let's say he's holding that many. These rarely will appear on the open market then, especially in that crazy good of condition. There's 57 listings right now. How many are near mint? But how many are just sitting in a collection? Near mint, 1, 2, there's about 15 here. 14 total listings. That's not bad, you know? But if people that are holding large positions, you know, if that didn't exist, this card would probably only be $800 in near mint, $700, you know? But that's the collectability. That's what happens with older stuff. If you pick this up at these prices, let's just say these whales end up slipping in their cards, you know, maybe like even like 10% of what they have, you know, like sitting behind closed doors. The price just completely just drops. But this is a world of supply and demand. Like, I want to hear your guys' feedback on all this, you know. But the sealed product, like if you look at a sealed box of Mirage, for example, I've opened these. Most recent sale, $3,400. It's just rich selling to rich, because if you crack this box open, you'll be lucky to pull $250 of value. I've cracked open Exodus boxes. I've cracked open revised sealed boxes. I've cracked open Urza Saga, Urza's Destiny, Urza's Legacy, all within the past like 3 years, okay? You ain't getting anywhere near the price of a sealed box. You like my cool flex? I got the sealed box no one else has. There's a diminishing supply of them. You'd be lucky if there's 200 of these still available. But really, who the hell cares? I'm not filthy rich, and you know what? Unfortunately, for my chickie, I probably never will be. You know? I'd like to be comfortable, and that'd be cool. But I just don't... I get the appeal because I was around during this time. This was like maybe the third, maybe fourth set that I picked up was Mirage back in the day when I was 11, 12 years old. I get the appeal to that, you know. It appeals to the nostalgia in me that I'm like, get a whiff of that, boy. Because, man, those cards smelled different, you know. The ink was just different. Then maybe the cardboard they used was different. So it does appeal to me in a sense, but I'm not going to go out of my way to spend this kind of money because once you crack it, there's nothing in it. So like, think about it. What is driving this price up? Nothing. I mean, there's reserve list cards and a chance at pulling like a crazy expensive reserve list card. Let's see the most expensive. Lion's Eye Diamond is the most expensive sought-after card in Mirage. Okay, there's no secret about that. It is what it is. About $400, near mint copy. I actually sold one not too long ago. Lion's Eye Diamond, Bayou, Badlands, Scrubland. I mean, they don't really say the condition right here. I'm not going to dive into it too much. 90% positive feedback. Well, he's probably selling. Why is it so bad? Actually, let's look into that. It could just be someone being a jerk, you know. But then again, the announcement is false, and the cards do not match what is proposed. Big mess. I don't even know what that guy's trying to say. Like, speak English, Doc. We ain't scientists. Let's say you were to crack that Mirage box at $3,400, $3,500. This is most likely the best outcome you can get. Well, it would be PSA 10, and there's none. Clearly, there's none here that have recently sold. PSA 10 of Lion's Eye Diamond, I'd say it would probably be about maybe $1,000 to $1,200, maybe. Okay, around there, maybe. 618, but this is what you could basically expect. This is your best bet, $618, and plus maybe another $150, $200 with the cards. So you're looking at $800 at the best. You'll never recoup your money. That's what I'm trying to say. You'll never recoup. The second you crack that, we all know this. This is common sense. I've opened so many damn old boxes. But it just blows my mind that these sealed boxes go for so much. There's no reason they should go for that much. It's just like, it's a flex. It's a rich person's flex. Look what I got. Whoop-a-dee-doo! $13.74. Grizzlebrand, what happened to you, baby? Normal price, $9.34. I mean, he got a lot of reprints, though. If you look at Grizzlebrand, holy crap. $2.43. $2.43 is the cheapest you can get a Grizzlebrand. This card used to dominate. You know what? There will come a time when Grizzlebrand, his foil from Avacyn, the OG version, $32.90, price is tanked because of all the reprints. You would think that these original OG versions would be worth more, but no, people want the fancy schmancy shit, dude. They want the showcase, they want the borderless, they want the fractured foils. I mean, and it's just it's all about eye appeal. It's all about flexing. It's the world we live in. You whip it out, I whip out it bigger. And it's a back and forth kind of game. Old Snappy. Since I'm going to be doing a battle, I'm not going to do it in this video. I'll do it in the following video. Snapcaster Mage, though. Unbelievable, man. $29.09. But this is what happens when power creep. I just wanted to show you guys the power creep is real. $15, $13.8. What was he around? He was like sitting around $25, $30 for a while, right? I remember when you pull the Snappy, you felt good. Now it's like, okay. But it's just a sign of the times. Here's all the uncommons from Modern Masters 2017. Even Path to Exile. That used to be like a $2, $3 pool. Or maybe like $1.50 to $2.50. And remember, there's also such a thing called inflation. With inflation, the price on all these have gone down. What? In 10 years, how can you justify paying more than $150 for a sealed box? You can't. I mean, the power creep's going to take over. Here's the commons. There's only one over $1, $3.60. That's market price, $3.60. Soul Warden. I thought Soul Warden got a bunch of reprints, but I guess it's been a while. Take a look, Soul Warden. Special guest. I missed that one. I didn't even see that. That's crazy. I like that special guest version. Secret Layers, hand them up, man. Yeah, the rainbow foil. It's a reading rainbow. First appearing in Exodus. That's nuts. No foils in Exodus. Exodus was the very first set symbol that introduced rarity. That's what it was. That's why it stood out to me. And then the following one was Urza Saga, and they had the foil promo Lightning Dragon and Gaia's Cradle, and then I think a couple other cards maybe. And then following that, then it became a norm to get a foil inside of a booster pack. They were really scarce though. It was like one in 6 to 10 packs had a foil. Back in the day, back in Urza's Legacy, Urza's Destiny times. This is interesting to see. Exodus. Who just bought up a bunch of... Why did you do that? Who bought up a bunch of Exodus OG Soul Wardens? Like it's going to be the next hot thing. Are there a ton of yeah? Look at steady, kind of steady. Yeah, whoa, that's a big jump. Someone bought well, maybe not someone, but I saw like 40 in there somewhere. 46 right here. 46 items sold. So yeah, that's where the price started going up. 46 sold. So the market dried up a bit. And that's why the price is sky high. Don't buy an Exodus Soul Warden right now because someone's just hoarding a bunch of copies. Man, I'm telling you, market manipulation, it's so damn simple. Especially if you're a creator, if you're a content creator. You know, I've even done this before, where I have talked about a card, you know, and I've even told people, like, yes, I have like a decent position of this card. Sometimes they flop. But there's been a couple times where the card has just spiked, you know. It's a good thing. I actually hold over 500 copies of Anji right now. Stupidest thing I've ever done. I mean, I paid next to nothing. Anji Falconwrath, right? From Commander 2019. How is she doing right now? I paid between 30 and I think 55 cents for all my copies. I think sometimes even less. They're all near mint. Oh, she's almost up to $1 now. She actually spiked. Maybe it's time to sell my position of 500 cards. But that is the kind of investment that I make anymore, is in a bulk, like, it's a card that's worth jack shit. You know? And Anji was one of them. I was just kind of betting that they wouldn't reprint her for a while, and then I can sell mine. Like, I was waiting for her to hit like $2, and then I just start dumping mine, which I have done with some cards. For example, I hold a very, not a very large position. I've been selling them steadily, though. But I have a boatload of this right here. And I picked them up for, I want to say, between 80 cents and $1.20. I mean, just, you know? And that's just one little stack. This is 3 times as big as that stack. And I have different versions of her. Is that the same card? Oh, no, that's some other chick. We'll get to her in a second. But, yeah, as you can see. Oh, that's still that other chick. Boom, 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 boom. Well, I've been selling some. And I still have another stack of these somewhere. And I picked these ones up for, I think, like $1 in foil. And I slowly sell them, like, on eBay and stuff. Here's an entire brick of Showcase. I picked these up for, like, I think 30 cents. Let's see what they're going for. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. A little more than 30 cents. I want to say maybe like 40 cents. Like average. 40, and this was years ago, you know, when Commander, whatever this is, Dungeons and Poop came out. You know, yeah, no one really liked it, I know. Okay, 87 cents. So it's slowly going up. Most recent sale, $1.99. Near mint. Okay. I'm waiting for this to hit $2, and then I'll start selling them. So I 3x, 4x, you know, because you got to pay shipping price. I got to put a stamp on the damn thing, you know, all that kind of crap. But mind blowing. Well, $1.27 it's at. Not bad, because I have all the foils. Just that's the kind of stuff like I'll pick up. I won't invest in these older vintage things anymore because there's just too many people that have that mindset of, oh, I'm just going to buy some older stuff and sit on it, and it's going to be worth a whole bunch of money down the road. Makes sense. Look at Mickey Mantle. Look at Babe Ruth cards. But there's hardly any of those. Don't get me going on sports cards. Here's another card that I picked up a boatload of. I probably have about 100 of these. This is Baluna. I'm just going to tell you guys. A bunch of these at like between 15 and like 20 cents. I'd say like between here and like here. Somewhere in here I bought a whole bunch of them, you know. I wonder if you could actually see where I picked them up. 35, that's probably me. 40, that might have been me at 42, because like sometimes that was me. 74, 46, that was probably me. Adventures, you know, there's more adventure cards that come out. Permanent spells you cast that have an adventure cost one less to cast. It's not even the craziest best card, but this is a kind of card that could easily go up to $1. You know, if they don't reprint it when they put out the next adventure themed set or whatever, you know, or even like some adventure cards in a commander build, or commander, you know, precon, then this card can easily spike in price. Not a whole lot, but if it spikes, if it goes up 200, 300%, hot diggity dogs, I probably won't sell until it's like $1.50, $2. But I paid next to nothing for them, like under 30, 40 bucks. What would I do? Less than that, probably under 30 bucks. So it's timing. But the older stuff, I feel it's kind of sad. Some of the foils, it blows my mind that they ain't worth shit, from like 15, 20 years ago. And some of them are, though. But that's like the staple cards, But I can't wrap my head around how some of these cards, like Tarmogoyf even, like what's a foil Tarmogoyf from Future Sight going for now? I would still imagine, the foil should be a lot. Future Sight was a really innovative set, man. 280 bucks. That makes sense. But back in the day, that was like a $600 foil. You know what I'm saying? Like during its peak. And it's crazy how the price is just... I want to hear your thoughts on this. Are you holding any positions of any kind of cards like Joey Moss's? I mean, that's an entire brick of 2 different cards right there. I don't even know. That's maybe like 300, 400 cards. Who knows? Not like 300. I was actually thinking about picking up a boatload of reparations because I could see that card easily spiking. It's down from the hype when it was on Command Zone. I want to say it was on Command Zone. But if you go in and, I was looking at it right around here too. I'm like, that seems really cheap. Yeah, I should have picked them up. I didn't, though. But if you look, I mean, this is, it was nothing. And then Command Zone or some big channel, if anyone knows, probably Command Zone. And then the price just slowly started teetering off, yada, 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 yada. And now it's kind of just chilling. But I wanted to pick them up right in here. I'm like, damn, that's really cheap. Buy a bunch of near mint and light play copies. That's the way to go. But if I would spec on one card, it'd be this one. Whenever target opponent successfully casts a spell that targets you or a creature you control, you may draw a card. Yeah, that's not bad, man. That's not bad at all. But I don't like that it says target opponent. If it was whenever a spell is successfully cast that targets you or a creature you control, you may draw a card. That'd be nuts. But I guess I don't really even know how this card works. Do you have to pick? Because in Commander, you'd have to pick someone. If you're playing one-on-one, it's obvious who your opponent is. But in Commander, when this card enters, when it resolves, do you have to pick? You have to pick an opponent. Whenever target opponent says that you have to pick an opponent once the card hits the field, right? And it resolves. I would assume that's how it works. Let me know if anyone knows anything different. I can always look it up, but appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. If you like this kind of video, let me know. I'll make more videos just like this. Thanks for watching. Skadoosh.